It's been a little over a year since the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics took place. Representing Team Korea at those games were over a dozen naturalized foreign athletes who had been drafted in to try and help Korea's medal haul. However, after the games were over, some went back home, with a few even giving up their Korean citizenship. But Matt Dalton, the goalie for the men's hockey team, has taken a different path. Originally from Canada, he says he wants to stay in Korea and give back to the local hockey community. To talk more about this and his time representing Team Korea, we have in the studio with us Matt Dalton, goaltender for Anyang Halla. Welcome to the show, Matt.
Thanks for having me, and glad to be here.
So you came to Korea in 2014 and joined your current team Anyang Halla after a career in North America and in Russia. But then tell us, how did you become part of Team Korea?
Yeah, it was kind of a unique situation, obviously, with the Olympics coming. I kind of was told about the opportunity that, they were looking for some foreign players to kind of help out their men's team. And at the time, I didn't know anything about Korea or hockey in Korea or anything like that. And I contacted a guy that was here for a while before me, Brock Radunsky, who was kind of the pioneer of the foreign guys being over here, and talked to him and liked everything I heard. Sounded good, and just kind of decided to take a chance and give it a shot. Come over here and see what it was all about. And nothing was guaranteed at the start. It wasn't promised or anything like that. It was just kind of see how things work out. And
so were you aware of the fact that you could be playing for Team Korea when you first came to Korea?
I was aware of the chance, because at that time there was a couple guys that already had passports, Korean citizenship. So I knew that there was a chance, but it wasn't promised. And at that time I looked at it and I thought it would be a pretty cool opportunity. So I decided to take the chance, and luckily it all worked out, and it's been a great experience.
So what was it like getting that Korean passport?
It was exciting. It was an exciting time. I look back on it. I got to go through it with one of my friends, Eric Regan. We kind of went through the process together. It's funny looking back on it now. You're sitting there studying and stuff as a 28-year-old, and cramming for like a test kind of, and
a test about Korean history, right?
Yeah, culture and stuff like that, and learning about it, and and then it's almost, you're kind of relieved after it's all over, and that, you have it, and you can just focus on, playing hockey and stuff like that. So.
And then, of course, focusing on getting ready for the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. Tell us about that. What was it like stepping on the ice and playing your first game for South Korea in an Olympics?
Yeah, that's a feeling that is hard to explain to anyone that hasn't been a part of it, I guess. Just so many emotions, not just one. There's excitement, there's nervousness, you're scared. There's a lot of different feelings. So, it was just an amazing experience. The whole thing, the whole process of the Olympics. I think for me, I really realized it's so much bigger than one sport or one event. It's such a amazing event, all of it. Getting to know the other athletes from other sports and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. It's something that I'll cherish for the rest of my life.
But specifically, what was it like having the Korean flag, on your chest as you're playing? I'm sure it's different for other people who play for their home country.
Yeah, obviously, it is. Especially when you're playing against Team Canada, and
because that was your third match in Pyeongchang.
And, the one thing about that was earlier in the year, we had played Canada in a tournament before in Moscow. And, I kind of got those feelings out of the way there. So when it came to the Olympics, it was just like another hockey game, which was, for me, a big help, because it is. It's funny, when I first got my citizenship, the way I felt when I first got it compared to how I feel about it now, and how I felt about it during the Olympics is completely different. I'm a lot more comfortable with it now and passionate about it. And at the time when I first got it, I didn't really know exactly how to feel. I almost felt like I stuck out, kind of, and
Yeah.
but now, I just feel like I'm part of the team. So, I'm definitely, yeah, it's great.
How did that change, or when did that change, do you think?
Just with time, the more I wore the flag, the more I wore the jersey, the more I represented the country, the more it changed. The process of building towards Olympics, I think everyone looks at the Olympics like it's just this one event, but as a team, you're building up to this years before, and you're doing a lot of events and team building and stuff like that people don't really see. But that's kind of what, for me, made me really comfortable with it. And my teammates too, some of the guys, I've gotten to play with for a long time, and we're close. It's like a brotherhood. So
Did you get any stick from your Canadian teammates, as in the Canadian opponents, when you're playing them?
you know what I did one guy at the World Championships last year, but I'm not a huge guy like that. I kind of like to just I
Just
don't
play
like
the game.
yes,
Yeah.
I don't like to think about it too much, that I'm playing against this guy or something. It kind of gets me. I like to just not think too much about it and just play. But there was one guy, Connor McDavid, who's arguably the best hockey player in the world. I had to ask him for a stick, and I got him to actually sign it to my son. So my son's pretty young now, but I hope that, in 10 or 12 years...
I'm sorry, this is my English Britishness coming out, because when I meant stick, I meant was did any of the Canadians in the Canadian team make fun of you at all, or all that kind of stuff? That's English terminology.
Yeah,
Apologies.
sorry. No, you know what? I've known a few of them, and I have to say that throughout the whole process, people have been especially from other countries and Canada, have been very encouraging and thinking hey, what you guys are doing is really cool. That's really amazing that you guys are doing this and getting this opportunity. And that was one thing that's interesting. You said that. I thought about that a lot, what people would say, or, worried about other people. And I finally just became so comfortable with it that, it didn't really bother. It's that all that matters to me is what my teammates think, and, what my family thinks and what I think. And, yeah, but for the most part, everyone was very, very encouraging. Yeah.
Is it the same with the South Korean people as well?
Yeah. You know what? I'm extremely grateful for the way I've been treated. People have been so kind, and, I think that's part of Korean people are very, very kind people, and, I've been extremely lucky and thankful for that. So, yeah.
So, as I mentioned at the start, there are several foreign naturalized players, athletes, who joined Team Korea, but then after the Olympics, they went back to their home countries, and some even gave up their citizenships. But obviously, as we said, you've taken a different path towards that. Why did you decide to, carry on being part of Team Korea, whereas others might have gone back?
Yeah, it's...
Because especially you were given, you said in an interview previously that people made offers for you to leave South Korea, but you decided not to take them.
Yeah. I feel like I've invested a lot also into Korean hockey, and it's something I'm passionate about. I really, I kind of made the commitment that, I'm doing this, I'm all in, and I kind of feel like it's my duty a little bit. I know it wasn't easy for them to get me citizenship. I know it wasn't easy, and to help me through that process. So I kind of feel like I owe it back to the country and more specifically the hockey community to give back. And I think it's as I'm getting older, it's I think that's part of my duty. I think it's kind of I'm very grateful that Korea gave me the opportunity to do these things, to be a part of these things. And, if I can help, the younger generation somehow or help grow the game of hockey, I feel like that's part of my job as a hockey player here. So,
I mean, I don't want you to, badmouth the others, but
Yeah.
the other people who did take the choice to leave, do you understand them?
The one thing I will say is everyone's situation's different. I think that everyone's life situation's different, what people are going through. I can't comment specifically on anyone because I don't think that's fair. I can just comment on me personally, how I felt about it, and that's how I felt about it. I felt passionate about it that I
mean, it seems to me that you adjusted to life in Korea very well, perhaps more than others. I mean, do you think there's anything unique about yourself or your history that makes your situation, makes you decide to want to stay?
I think that I'm lucky that I'm in a team sport. I think that helps you adjust easier. I think if you're in an individual sport, I think it's a lot tougher. I have 20 guys on my team that I can talk to, and I've also have some guys that have went through the same process of being naturalized as I am. We have a lot in common. There's not a lot of people in the world that have these things in common that we do and have went through this process. So that makes it a lot easier. I've lived in other countries. I've traveled the world, and I've realized that it's a nice place to live, like there's, so with all those things, I think that's what has made it an easier transition maybe than someone like that's playing not a team sport or something like that, I guess. Yeah.
You said you wanted to contribute
Yeah.
to the Korean ice hockey community, and you even said in a previous interview that even after retiring, you want to perhaps coach or even coach maybe one day the South Korean national team. Is that a dream of yours?
You know what? I don't know what it'll lead to. Right now, I'm focused on playing. I still have a contract for a little while here, and I am focused on fulfilling my contract of playing and all that kind of stuff. But when I'm done, if there's an opportunity that comes up that is right for my family and me at that time, that's something that I would not hesitate in doing. It's I think it's too early to say what that will be, but I'm definitely open to helping. Yeah.
And you've seen ice hockey in Korea grow.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you want it to see it progressing next? I mean, and how do you think perhaps you could contribute to it?
I think the most important thing is we need to focus on like the youth. That's the future. It's I've been lucky enough to grow up in Canada, which is arguably one of the best hockey country in the world, and I see how our youth programs work and how it's a feeder system, how it kind of feeds up to the next level and feeds up to the next level. And I think that that's something that, here we really need to focus on. And I know that we're starting to, and it's starting to get better, and we're starting to get the right people in charge that we need. But, it has a ways to go. It's, to be completely honest, compared to a lot of these other countries. But there's no reason why it can't. That's the thing. It's all the resources are here, and the athletes are here, and it just needs some structure and some guidance, and so.
Yes, well, we'll have to wrap things up, unfortunately, but it's been really fascinating to talk to you today. Thank you for coming in and sharing your story, and best of luck to you going forward as well.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
That was Matt Dalton, goalie for Anyang Hala and the South Korean men's ice hockey team.